Sawtooth Dave, chilling with Miss Socks Sunday morning. We just hanging out in the shop, doing our thing. Let me raise this up a little bit. There we go. We can see me now. Oh, let's do this proper, by the way. There we go. DLC Sawtooth. It's actually the only Sawtooth I have at this moment. Kind of weird, but yep, down to one Sawtooth right now. So, you know, in a week's time span, sometimes my mind, I get drifted, so like going so many different directions, doing so many different things, that I forget what had happened on the last week and that sort of thing. And the end of last week was so epic. I just have to relay the story, and hopefully you guys get into it. But I need your help too, so bear with me here, and we'll get into it real quick. Miss Socks is just gonna come hang out. Let's see. It's a big girl. All right, we got her comfortable now. All right, so last week we talked about this Dua. That's the reason I showed the DLC Sawtooth. We showed the Dua last week. A couple of people had interest in it, which is really cool. But here's how this all went down. So, if you didn't catch the last week, what the story was, Ryan, a dude I basically just met, talked to him a few times, did a knife for him, and then ended up selling him a Sawtooth. But as a thank you, he gave me this Dua. I thought that's too much for that short period of time. Like, this is a pretty, if you don't know, I'm somewhere in a $400 neighborhood ish, like it could be up, could be down, depending on what you value on the regrind and that sort of thing. And the regrind's done phenomenally, better than I can do at this point. And I put it out there, like, I just want to get Ryan some money. So the first person to contact me was T-Mac. And if y'all don't know T-Mac, he and I have been online friends for a long time. Done several transactions over years. And I'd say years at this point. I don't know for sure, but I think probably 3-4 years. I don't know. I may even known him when I collected before. I don't remember. I just seemed like I always remembered him, his name, and bullshitting with him. But anyhow, T-Mac contacts me and I say, hey, all right, so you want to buy it? That's cool. And he's like, yeah, but this is how I want to do it. I want to buy it, and I want you to give it away to someone who can't afford a custom, who wants a custom. So he contacts Ryan. Ryan says, listen, I'm a stubborn ass biker. I'm taking zero for it. I gave it to Dave. Let's take a gentleman's agreement and we'll both give it away. So that's what we all know. We all, you can't really force a stubborn biker to change his mind. So as soon as he said that, I was like, yeah, that's me. So like, once you make your mind up, you made your mind up. So long story short, T-Mac tried to buy the thing from Ryan. Ryan said, hell no, I ain't selling it. We're giving it away to someone deserving, because that's what Mac wanted to do. So that's what all of us are doing now. So I don't know if you call this, I'm just gonna call it the T-Mac and Ryan giveaway for the Dua. But what we're looking for is someone who does not have the means to own this knife. Like, if you had the means to spend $400 a knife, and you got $400 knives, I don't want you to put your name in the hat. But if you know somebody who is in that predicament, who would like a little mini bruiser, that's what I'm gonna call this one, mini bruiser. It's definitely a knife that feels big, it's small. Someone else commented that in the last video, and I think that's a perfect way of putting this knife. It's definitely a little knife, but it feels like a much more capable little knife. Like Appalachian ADV Rider did the little Street 229. That's basically what he said about it too. It feels like a big knife, it's a little knife, and that's exactly what this little guy does. But anyway, I'm looking for nominations so I can give this one away. Obviously, I got to take your word for it. So if someone will nominate someone else, I kind of sort of know that their situation is like, if you know somebody, let me know, because I really would like to give this away to someone who otherwise couldn't afford it, that really wants to check it out, and own and be proud of a $400 knife, and not just turn around and sell it and get $400 for it. I want somebody who wants the knife, right? Ultimately, it would be even cooler if they're like a veteran or first responder, medical, that sort of thing. That'd be even cooler, So if y'all know somebody, let me know, please. But I love the ripple effect of the giveaway thing. It's so inspiring to me, man. So I know this YouTube thing, some people like care more about how many people subscribe to them and that sort of thing than I generally do. Like, I kind of am proud that it's been steadily growing and more people are watching. If you just only tune in since the regrinds, like I've been doing this for 3 years about, and the regrinds have I only started regrinding like 6 months ago, so I'm pretty much still new at regrinding. So that's a new thing. It seems like it has attracted more people for whatever reason, probably because other YouTubers have mentioned me in their videos, which I really truly appreciate. Not necessary, but truly appreciate. But yeah, I guess we're going to do a huge celebration at 1,000. So I'm planning on doing a huge giveaway myself at 1,000. I don't have a clue what it's going to be. I just know I want it to make it, like you see some of these bigger YouTubers, and once they get to like 100,000, that's when they do a big celebration. I want to do a big, 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Not sure what it's going to be. We shall see. To be determined, I suppose. But I guess I'm gonna drive to 1,000 now. So EDC Roundtable, Joe Lancelot Leather contacted me and gave me a discount code for you guys. I mentioned it in one of these little clips I'm gonna show you from the work I did earlier this week. So hey, let's just cut to those clips right now. But I did want to say that EDC Roundtable, I don't think I get a damn thing for it, but as you're growing popular in YouTube, you get offers for people doing stuff. Well, everybody on the EDC Roundtable that I've met has been nothing but cool as hell. Real down-to-earth people, and it's a cool thing to, I guess, for you guys. Like, I didn't even ask Joe how it affected me, because I don't think it does, but it's just a 10% off code, just Sawtooth10, and then you get 10% off EDC Roundtable. But let me cut to the clips of work that I did earlier this week. It's going to be a few knives, and then I also did some reviews of, or overviews, I guess, of some of the ones that Jose sent, because most of the knives that people send in aren't my kind of knives. They're just knives that I work on for people. They're really not bruisers that I personally would own. Most of them, anyhow. Not all of them, but most of them. So let me cut to that clip, or clips, and bear with me, because a lot of these clips were done like late nights after I've been working or half working and grinding, and then whatever, like, it's just sometimes I lose my mind that late at night. But I'll cut to those clips right now. All right, so I got a couple of these done earlier in the week. I'm going to get them gone for the weekend, but I just wanted to do a quick video on them. These belong to E&G. So this is a 20.5 in 3V. I took it to a Trizac and went way higher on the grit. So I think this one's finished at around a 400 grit. Trizac's not exact, but you can see it's definitely a higher grit than what I've been taking most of mine to. So I guess I'm kind of sort of practicing the higher grit finishes. I showed that couple last weekend, or that one, I guess, the ADV last weekend. But anyway, pretty happy with how that both came out. Or I didn't show you the second one yet. I'm happy how that one came out. Oh, and this is a attention to detail. I don't know what the model number is. This was on bearings, and he just wanted a hollow grind. It was already hollow grind before, but I just made it a little bit deeper, and also finished this one around 220 instead of going any higher. I just fit the knife being kind of like dull and muted out. I didn't want to go like semi-gloss. It's sort of glossy as it is, but it's like a satin kind of belt thing. So there's the attention to detail, whatever model that is, and the Demco 20.5 and 3V. I think this is a magnet cut. So I hope you enjoy them, bro. I'll get this boxed up and sent back to you. Hopefully you have them before this video comes out. All right. It's Thursday night, so I'm trying to get some stuff sent out, so I figured I'd show you real quick. This is a 940 for Ryan. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so we can see a little better. Kind of a, I think I left this in at 320 or 400, I can't remember, with the Trizacs. Pretty happy how this one came out. This is an M4. I think this is a Blade HQ exclusive one, but the symmetry's off just a hair, and I got a little fuzzy in one of the corners. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with how this one came out. So I hope you enjoy that one, Ryan. I think it looks cool. All right, back out. All right, a couple more to show you, so bear with me for a moment. So Carco Chris sent this Old Dominion in. Basically, the complaint was just no detent. And so I found two things, which is kind of sort of an ongoing thing that I found with the Chupacabras, is they hit the backspacer. So you see down in there, I scalped the backspacer out a little bit, and then just a little heat coloring back into it, and then add a little more lock bar tension. Problem is now it gets lock stick, so you'll have to go back through it. But you can see it's got detent now, at least. So you can see it's got detent now. So hopefully that's what he wants. Hopefully, Chris, enjoy that one. And then this is, that used to be Nova Blades. What is it called? SDK? I can't remember. Steve, somebody else. I can't remember his name. Carco refinished a lot of this. Before he got it, someone else had like tried to hand rub the blade. It wasn't the best looking hand rub, and it's a little thick behind the edge, so I just did a little, I basically reground it, but I pretty much chased what the original design was. I mean, it's way thinner now, obviously, but I love working on customs, man. It's such a cool thing. So I already showed it to Chris. I know he likes this one, but Hopefully when he gets it in hand, it's exactly what he wanted. Trying to work on my final edges too, so I changed belts that I'm trying to use on. I know after seeing JD's video, he was like, you know, I can't say it was a bad edge, but I could tell he wasn't happy. And I've got a couple complaints about edges. You know, trying to do an edge in 10 minutes is pretty rough, so I'm trying to change it up and trying to make it something better. But anyway, these two are for Carco Chris. So this is Denise's solo. Oh, is it? I don't know. It might not be her solo no more. I think we turned it into a hawk bill. So we did a little horse trading. And so she got a hawk bill with the stud modification in it. So if y'all have seen this before on my channel, but now it has the studs in it, so you can thumb flick it and finger flick it. So this one actually works pretty well for that. So hope you like this one, Denise. Headed your way soon. This one, all she wanted was stone wash, so really quickly, just stone washed everything. I didn't do anything to the blade or anything, just basically stone washed everything. So quick and easy. Actually, I told y'all last weekend, or weekend before last, I can't remember, that I busted my tumbler. So I ended up making a piece of pipe, like plumbing pipe, black pipe, and drilling a bolt through it, and chucking it up on my lathe and just let it turn. So it ended up working out anyhow. All right, so if you watch the channel long enough, you've seen 229 that I did for Billy. I made the scale on this one. But pretty much everything else on this one is what I did to the other one that he had, except for I'm getting better at. I've learned on that one that I did, that Medford I did a couple weeks ago, how to radius these edges a little better. So basically, all these sharp corners are now rounded off. So all of them are rounded off so that, you know, not pokey. She asked me to get rid of some of the harshness of the jimping, so I got rid of that. She wanted new studs, so you got tie connector studs on it now. And they were tie, so I blasted them to match the other tie. So I think it all kind of goes in, you know, a little bit of shiny here and a little bit of dull there, kind of equal it all out to me anyhow. But anyway, just pretty much the whole thing kind of molded over real good. And also, obviously, I blasted it and stone washed it afterwards. It's got a kind of a nice faded, cool look to it. I dig it a lot. So these 229s are really cool. If you hadn't seen one, definitely worth getting a hand on. This is probably one of the knives that I've liked the most and never pulled the trigger on. So I think eventually I'm going to get one. I'm just going to look for a beater because I'm probably going to do the exact same thing I did this one to that one. So I'll find a 229 that's all beat to hell. Get it for a couple $100 or something and do this to it. Maybe acid stone wash the blade or something too. Maybe the hardware too. But yeah, I dig this one. So hope you like this one, Denise. I think it turned out well. Let's see, what else do I got to show you? I think that's it for now. Oh, by the way, if y'all like the mats, and I got a key keeper from Joe too. Joe contacted me this week and said he wanted to give me a code for the EDC roundtable. So Joe's works there, Monk's Forest, Stevie, everybody else is on there. Like if you want to use say 10% code, my code on there is SATU10. So just SATU 10, you get 10% off. And now I'm shilling for the EDC roundtable, but yeah, they're all cool people. So I met most of them. So there's that. All right, you 95%ers ain't gonna like none of this, but for us brothers, us 5%, these are some sick, nice. Brother Jose lent some in. This Crusader used to belong to me, this Fierce for Prey. And Jose was worried about lake lockup, so on this one, the detent's good. You got no lash at all, nothing, it's good. But upon lockup, it's super late. You can see how late it is up in there. Super late. Problem is, this is on a single point detent. So unless you do something odd, like either have to make a lock bar insert or make a pin that's like elongated and, you know, pinned twice, I guess, somehow. That's the only way you know you're gonna fix this one. So Jose, for now, bro, I'm gonna say run it, use it until it develops lock rock. As soon as it has lock rock, we'll figure something else out on it. But there's nothing that really can be done easily. I can't change the diameter of this. It's gonna mess the detent up. So I wouldn't mess with it right now, man. I just let it go what it is. But Fierce for Prey, if you've not seen this one, this is G10. This is a thick G10 too. So normal tie, and then the thick, I don't know if you can tell how thick this G10 is, but it's definitely thicker than what the normal slab sides are on this one. This is a sick knife, man. Every time I see stuff that I sell, I'm like, damn it, why did I sell that one? This is a sick knife, man. This is a Sawtooth that he sold me that I'm going to turn around and sell him back, but I just wanted to show it because I don't think I've ever seen one like this. And I don't know if anybody else decides to want the mods. Some of these I like, some of them I don't. But this side, see how it's carved and then Cerakoted on top of it. So I thought that was really unique. I do not necessarily like the finger choil. Like I like the stock Sawtooth finger position. This other, just too spread out for me. Like this, I don't know, it works, but it just, I don't know. I like the stock one better, I guess, for me. So for me, this overall design, this mod here, I didn't particularly like, but that's just me for my hands, right? I got used to the other one so much that, I don't know, don't mess with perfection, I guess. Satu obviously is one that's left an impression on me, so obviously I think they're more desired, but I just want to show you that one. Oh, by the way, Jose, I got another green scale. If you want me to do a green scale in the same pattern with the scallop and stuff, I could probably do that. It's probably on the scale I got left. Might be cool to have something to change it up with. He let me borrow this Atreyu. So I had Atreyu a while back. It went to Carco, and then the last I heard it went to Steve Clare, which, you know, I don't know if Steve still has or don't have. But this one is sick. This was the Damascus one. I heard he was buying it. I think he bought it from Jason. And, you know, once you get into these bruisers, there's only so many of us out there, so you kind of start all learning each other. I was really surprised that he snagged this one, but I was really glad he did. This is a sick one. And honestly, it made me want to know that Atreyu. So I got a deal kind of sort of in the work with Nick that I may end up getting one of these. But this is great, man. Like the one I had a little bit sharper corners. I didn't like as much. I knew I was going to mod it. My wife said, don't mod it, just send it. But at this point, man, I'm probably going to start modding stuff that I don't like. That is so close. Like this is such a sick knife. Like as soon as I handled it again, I was like, man, I forgot how much I like that knife. Overall, the other one was just like, I knew I was going to mod it. Getting the right combination of stuff, especially with Dan, he does so many varieties of stuff. Like if you find one that you like the model, but not necessarily, just hold out for the right one, right version you want, because he'll make it, because the models vary a lot. Heater, and I didn't realize that, maybe I'm just a dumbass, I didn't realize that there was a MO2, a Man of War 2. I didn't realize there was a difference between the 1 and the 2. Jose sent this one. At first, I was like, why did he send them the Man of War? He knew I had one, but after I started looking at them, there's a lot of little subtle details about this one. The edge is particular. My edge was super thick. You know, I reground mine. This one's not super thin, but it's definitely more of a usable kind of edge than it was. A lot of the hand elements that are on the Man of War 1 are kind of gone from this one. Like, I missed some of that, so this is kind of a little more precision-y. I mean, it looks cool, but it's just, it lost a little bit of that character that I think that the first one had. The numbers are over here on the clip on this one. You know, the stinger, I don't know if they call it stinger or whatever that he calls it on this one. But overall, like the knife action feels better on this one, and the blade, for as far as usual blade, the Man of War 1s compared to the Man of War 2s, I think this one actually has a better workable edge. It's got that Hoback rolling detent, adjustable detent, whatever, that kind of hokey pokey crap. Every time I pick up one of these, there's like one spot for it to be in. This one happened to be backed off, so I was able to run it in to adjust it. But other than that, like, just give me a detent ball in the tie. I hate this crap, but that's just me personally. All right, so the one that I really wanted to show you guys, like, we've all seen Vis tees before, or at least if you're into bruisers anyhow, if you're into Crusaders. Oh, and I'm pretty sure, news to me anyhow, that Crusader's actually making still. So I didn't realize he was, but I think this is a newer build for him too. I'm not sure how new, but this is a Vis tee. So like VIS/T. That's pretty much how he nomenclatures it. You can see that Crusader Forge has unique style. This is a super, super cool aesthetic looking, super thick, chunky guy. That's a 1/4 inch right there. So super chunky boy. But yep, chisel ground. And he does weird things like the pivot. You can see how high that pivots stand up. Like, he just does what he wants to do. I always respected him because it's a lot like Dan. Like, you get what he gives you, and if you don't like it, somebody else will buy it. The guy behind you, standing beside you, will buy it. It's just how his attitude is. It's like, they try to please people, but they do what they want to do, and hopefully you like it. That's kind of sort of how they make it. Normally you see flat up here. This is actually convex. So hopefully you can see that roundness. So it's curved, you know, convex. So super, super, super thick with a secondary bevel too. That's crazy, huh? And then you know it's chisel ground. So, I mean, it comes, I mean, that's all right for scraping and stuff. It's all right. This is ridiculous. You see, it's hollow ground, but it's, I don't know, a 1/4 inch back before you even hit the grind. So it's steep as a hell right there. Like, this is not a good knife. This is more like a folding pry bar, you know, for sure. Scraper, everything else. But such a sick knife, man. The action and the feel on these things, like, if you never handled a Crusader, it's so unique. There's no way to describe it. It's just, I didn't do it good on the camera, but you hear that pop. Like, it's just when they work, man. So digging this one, man. Thank you so much for letting me check it out, Jose. Badass knife, man. Definitely, out of all the ones you sent, that's definitely my fave. All right, that's enough from Jose's. All right, so while we're on the thing of people sent knives in to kind of for me to look at stuff, Brother Will sent in a couple, and you know, like it's getting to a point now where I get so much stuff sent to me, it's hard for me to go through the loaners like I used to do, loan knives to people, unless it's like something like the stuff Jose sent that I normally wouldn't get the chance to see. But Will had done a mod on this and done a video on that, and it's WC Blade Review if you don't already know Will. Worth going to check out his videos. Cool dude. But anyhow, he had done the scale swap on his 8010. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, that's such a cool idea. Like, I love the idea of this. And it's something as a machinist that I've always thought about doing myself. Most of the people that are doing this pretty much just copy the stock scales or slightly modifications or whatever. So I just kind of wanted to check it out. These are in aluminum. They are a little slick. So I don't remember the G10 being this slick in hand. So that's the one thing I dislike about the aluminum as far as this. But just looking at it, I'm going to guess it's not even hard coated. I'm guessing it's just raw off the machine. It doesn't look like it's been anodized or anything. Like most of the time, aluminum scales, they anodize or something, finish some other way. So I don't know if these will oxidize or if they won't oxidize. Don't know for sure. But they definitely give a different look to the 8010. So I kind of wanted to check it out. I think if these in tie, I probably would have liked it. A little more weight would probably have been good for me. And the thing about the 8010 for me personally is they look like they have enough room, but like, and I could get in there, but I don't know if you can tell or not, I'm getting jammed up to get in the grip of this knife. So to me, if they just, you know, relieve this, instead of locking me in here, give me more room here, even round this off, that would be way better for me personally. Even if you have to make a new back pressure, I don't care. So like, this is still probably a no-go for me. I love this knife. I wish it's good for a medium. I just wish it didn't do the lock-in thing on the end of it. Maybe it's just something I got to mod, like get one of these and just mod it out to make it mine. But like, I don't own any of the bigger Cold. I got the Recon 1. That's the only thing I got from Cold Steel at this point. I don't own like the 4Max or anything anymore. And I kind of sort of wish that they'd make these in 4Max too. Maybe they do, and I just haven't seen it. The scales, I believe these are original goat, but correct me if I'm wrong, Will. But it's a cool one to check out. This is actually one of the ones I wanted to see that Will had. Now, I've seen this one too on his channel. And I think it's one of the ones he just got basically to have. He didn't really have a whole lot of use case for it. He just wanted to get it. I don't even remember the name. Sorry, Will. But it's a Medford production fixed blade. And, you know, Medford's production stuff, fixed blade stuff, is not as like hand element. I mean, there are definitely hand elements involved in it, but it's not as hand element as what I like in fixed blades. And I guess for fixed blades, me personally, there's so many cool customs that I rarely look at productions. So just for example, this is my local buddy, and this is nothing fancy of a knife. This is just a knife that he had on him, and I ended up swapping him a knife for this knife. But this is my buddy Dave Lowe's, and you can see it's beat up, it's loved on, but it definitely has a more hand element, and my buddy Dave made it. So like, it's even more for me personally. It's like, it's not to the level of this one for sure, but it definitely has more personality at the same time. Hard to describe that. And then I look at like, so price wise, these are not cheap. I don't remember the exact price Will said, but it's not cheap. But I got Jed Hornbeak, and this is a 3V one-off, and look how unique this thing is. By one maker, you know, all done by hand by one person. Like, I don't know, like I value this above that for me personally, and I believe this is going to cost more money than what this would. Sheath wise, like the sheath that the Medford comes with is a great sheath. It's all Kydex with the tech lock and that sort of thing. Locks in super solid. But look at this leather sheath that Jed makes, and this is all handmade Jed stuff. So I guess for me, I dig the Medford for what it is. It's just, when I choose fixed blades, I want more personality in the fixed blades. I guess I went straight from, when I go to fixed blades, I go pretty much straight to customs. Now, I bought productions, like your Work Tough gears. I still own a Work Tough gear, but I don't even know what model that number is. But it's just because, I guess they're so cheap, I don't really care. But when it gets to that price point, like Medford charges, I just prefer custom level knives. And I just ordered, if you hadn't seen, Scab and Jed teamed up, and I think Captain Electro had something to do with it too, all teamed up and made a model, and I just ordered me one of those last night. So I had to be another Hornbeak to the collection pretty soon. I don't know, it's just my thoughts on quick thoughts on the whole I guess, Medford and 8010 real quick. So next, I just got to change to the top down and show you some more knives. I'll explain, I guess, when I go through it, but I acquired some things that were a couple were unexpected. Another one was like, just too good of a deal to pass up. So hang tight, let me just turn this thing around. All right, so first one on the block here is the Direware Solo. So Denise had sent this in for mods, and truth be told, I had already done the mods for her. Like, so the main first mod was to relieve the clip on this backside where it hits the lock bar to make it go in and out of the pocket a little bit easier. I did relieve it, and then she wanted thumb studs put in it, so I actually made thumb studs to go with the stop pin. So stop pin, and then went a little wider for thumb studs. But it is super hard to actuate. I really couldn't get my fingers on there and actuate it. She asked me to weaken the detent, so I tried. It just didn't. Direwares have their detent set so strong, it just would not work that way. So I don't know that I even told her that I had this done yet. Maybe I did, I can't remember. But in talking with her, you know, I had sent her a knife last week that she wanted to keep. And so, you know, I basically told her how much I'd take for it, or if we could talk trays if you want to talk trays. So immediately she said, well, trays is definitely what she was into as well. So it worked out perfect for both of us, I think. So my other hawk build that I showed in the other video, I put those studs from here, I took them back out and put them in that other hawk build. It worked better. This one worked great for me. So I don't really know anything about how new or not new this was. This is definitely new to me. The orange G10, like, this is not something I normally would purchase with the orange G10. I have a feeling they'll probably not stay orange G10. I also have a feeling the titanium won't stay looking like it is. You know, I'll do my normal knife mod and stuff on this Solo. It's just one of those. It was opportunity that popped up, and both of us seemed to want what the other one had, so it kind of worked out like a deal. She hasn't got all her knives, so it's not a confirmed deal. I'm not gonna say 100% this is mine, but I'm 99.9% sure we pretty much got the deal worked out. She just has to get hers in hand. And this is another one. So it ended up being like a 3 or 4 nice swap, right? And so I got a couple of the ones that I acquired, and the one's gonna come back. Some of the stuff's coming back in a minute. But this is the other one, is on belay, and this one actually got sent in. She was gonna have me do a regrind on it, and there was also a lock stick on this. The lock stick actions, especially on these Medfords, if your pivot's not snug, sometimes it will give you a little bit of wiggle room, and it'll cause a little bit of lock stick. So after snugging it, the pretty much lock stick almost negated itself. And yes, I do have another one. I'm gonna move this Solo out of the way for a second. Yes, I do have the other on belay that I recently got back from Jose. And believe it or not, I think I like both of them. They're completely different, but cool at the same time. I think the action is actually better in this PBD S35 version than this D2. But, you know, I like the plain stuff. I just am more drawn to the plain stuff in Medford's line. And this one being plain, but having that cool milling pattern on it, I don't know, just seemed like a good little, another good Medford pair. So jumped at the opportunity to snag that one up. And so far, I really like carrying it. And like the feel of it's just a little bit of milling. It's not really sharp. It just adds a little different feel. And actually it takes weight out, which sucks, but it doesn't feel that way. This knife feels still very much tanky and cool. Like, it's very little depth to that. So while it does have a little bit of extra added grip on there, the overall finish and stuff, like the way you used to do his tumbling and blasting, like, I much prefer this to the newer stuff. And you know, I do have Medford pairs already, so I'm not really flexing, but just to show you, like, so I had got this was an anniversary present for my wife. I couldn't really ever carry or use it because if it got scratched, she'd probably be upset with me. So I ended up getting this one, and you can see already it's been used more than this one has. So this one came from Brother Carco a little while ago, not very long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago. So I'm doing a lot of trades here lately, right? And this one was off a trade, and the reason I bring this one up is, like, this is the first chisel grind. This is Dwayne Dwyer SMF. This is the first chisel grind I ever had that I was like, oh, I get chisel grinds now. Like, before, I guess I'm gonna say I really didn't understand chisel grinds as much. And now after having it, I'm like, wow, I am a fan of chisel grinds. Well, that Hornbeak I showed you a minute ago was chisel grind too. But I don't have a whole lot of experience with the chisel grinds. After getting these two customs, I was like more open to the fact that I can be responsible that I would like a chisel grind in the collection. And y'all know I've showed both these, the Direware and this Mr. G. Both these are sick knives. And like, these are pretty much the pinnacle top tier of collecting it. I mean, there's other ones, you know, I could put in there, Rogovits and that sort of thing, but these are both recent acquires. And both these are just like phenomenally top of the line, kind of nice. Like this is exactly how my collection is evolving into one-off type pieces, both customs, right? So it is of no surprise that I would get something like this. So before you even ask me, this is a Jim Burke knife, but it's also ground by Jeremy Horton. So it's a Jim Burke, Jeremy Horton collaboration. It's chisel ground. This, I believe, is a bronze insert, because I looked at it, I was like, is it not copper? And it's not brass, so it has to be bronze. This thing is heavy. Like it doesn't look like, from looking at it like this, it would be heavy, but like it's not the thickest, but it just has a good heavy feel to it. So let's look at that Horton grind real quick. So let's see if I turn around. Obviously someone's polished it. I don't think it came that way, but it possibly could have. But you can see that top swedge is just a ground, and then this is mirrored. So I'm guessing if they were mirroring it, they would have probably mirrored that too. But I mean, it's possible it came like this. I don't have any data to go along with this knife, so it's pretty much just word of mouth. I'm gonna plan on reaching out to Jim Burke to see if he has any information on it. But this one is so unique that I thought, you know, man, we ought to do a breakdown video on this one, just to see what's going on the inside of it, because the action is not like Daiware. Like I'm hands down gonna tell you, both flipper onlys, that this is a better flipper than this one is as far as like deployment. Let's see if we can just demonstrate real quick. So you can see how snappy that is, like pretty much every time. This one, you can see it's a little bit lazier. Now it's good, but it's just a little lazier, right? Like D10 on these Daiwares, you got to be ready for. Even this one's been, you know, softened, and it's still pretty stout. Like you can slip off and mess it up with your thumb wise. This one's not to that step, but the closing on this one, let's see if I can demonstrate close on this one. Once I get past here, it's just really like so controlled, it's ridiculous. So I don't think it's on bearings. See that, how controlled it is? I don't think it's on bearings. I think it's on nylon washers, but I got to blow it apart to see. So y'all bear with me a second. I'm gonna get some tools out. We're gonna blow this thing apart. All right, you know, you're wrong, you gotta admit it, but yep, on bearings. Obviously, I don't know if I mentioned this or not. The other one, this whatever we call it, Damascus, mochar, whatever the hell that is on the back side there. I don't really get into this kind of material, so if you're into the fancy stuff, it is what it is. I mentioned on the other, I didn't mention on the other one, the little short stubby clip. What this does is help you pinky bank when you're holding your knife. You can kind of pinky bank pretty good. The clip doesn't really get in the way at all, but as a functional clip, like, which side is the camera on? There it is. Not the best overall clip, but not bad either. It's just funky. So it kind of reminds me of that Southern Grind Bad Monkey clip, that little short clip he has. So it's not quite deep carry, but it's kind of sort of in that realm of that same style. I dig it for what it is. It's good machining and stuff on it, but you know, no pins back here like the other Bruiser videos. I really prefer to have pins in the back, so it kind of locks it in more. You can even see here where he's got this hole here and here where he could have pinned it pretty easily on both sides. Not sure why they don't do that, but he didn't. Jim Burke obviously knows what the hell he's doing, so I don't really question him as far as like what he does. It's just the overall to add strength to it kind of thing. That's the only thing I'm curious about. You know, weak spots probably here in the blade as far as the strength goes, but I don't think you're going to be hard using a blade like this. But man, look at those grinds, dude. Just a gorgeous knife. Hard to really describe how gorgeous that grind is. Nice little recurve in there. Just a great job on this. I have no clue what the blade steel is on this one. Like I said, no paperwork at all. Just one of those ones that I was like, showed up when it showed up. I was like, I got this from my buddy Mon Thomas, and it was just one of those ones that like I just couldn't turn it down, especially when he gave me the price he gave me. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to suck it up and get it. So I did. So that's it, broke down. It's hard to put into words what something like this feels like in hand. Like this is just on a different level for me. So like I said, this is probably the crown jewel right now overall. Like two master knife builders building this one. Not exactly a phenomenal, you know, D10 action kind of thing. Not exactly one thing that stands out above just a sick knife, but obviously you can see the milling in it, so it's contoured. Let's see if I can hold it where you see. Yeah, there you go. It's contoured, but also has that design in it too. So excellent machine work from, I'm assuming Jim Burke's the one that does that. Normally his knives are all about the machine and stuff, so I'm assuming that's what it is on that one. But I'm gonna tweak this one a little bit, as I always do to all my knives. See if I can't make the detent a little bit better for what I like, and then put it back together, do a conclusion real quick. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap this one up this week. I know it's a bunch of videos all kind of mixed together, and it's a kind of a hodgepodge. I think like we're getting called in. I already had work this morning, so like I think for going forward, I'm gonna have to start doing little clips and kind of mashing them together to make sure I can get a video done. Like, pretty sure we're gonna get called in again later on today. I guess we'll wait and see. But y'all, please do me a favor. I know you know somebody, even if it's just a question. You're like, I'm not 100%, but I know you know somebody that needs this duo. For T-Mac, for Ryan, and for myself, just find somebody that really couldn't afford this, that could get this in their hands. Like that's ultimately the goal. Be awesome if they're a veteran or first responder, medical, firefighter, that sort of thing. But if not, that's fine, cool. Like I just want somebody that will cherish the knife, want to keep the knife, and otherwise doesn't have the means to get the knife. That's pretty much the goal on this one. So y'all help me out, find me somebody. If not, then I gotta figure out some other way of giving this away. Contact Ron and T-Mac, see what we come up with. All right, well, thank you all. I appreciate you jumping in on the subscriber thing, the newer people that have jumped on subscribers. I'll do more regrinds and that sort of thing, and we kind of get into more of that stuff. I know I got some stuff coming, but I'm almost to the point of getting caught up. So I got a few more things to work on, and hopefully I'll figure out what I want to do for that giveaway, and hopefully announce it next week. Maybe one of those ones where I got, I'll use this knife. You can mod it how you want it, or you can regrind it, or however you want it. You want it stock, you kept stock kind of thing. I don't know. We'll get to it. Y'all have a great week. Thanks y'all for tuning in. Have a great one.